High Plains Technology Center, turning education and training into workplace success.
Oh, back to school to prove to Dad that I'm not a fool.
High Plains Technology Center, education at the speed of business. School is now in session.
All right, here we are. Good Wednesday morning. Taylor Burnett sitting in, talking about all things High Plains Technology Center. I am uber excited this morning. You know, I'm always excited, but when we have some students in here, I get even more excited. And I came back with a vengeance, came back with a bang. I was out last week. Katie filled in for me admirably, so thank you so much for that, Katie. But this week, we've got a room full of people, and we're going to talk all things TAP. And that's the cool thing because, you know, those that don't know, we were super busy last week. We're super busy this week. TAP is one of those things that we talk a lot about because I still think that there's a lot of people that don't fully grasp it and understand it. And until you visit it or you've been in it, we really need to talk about those things because they are very extremely vital. And I'm excited because we've got kind of different iterations of where TAP was with these students right now. So I'm going to have you start and introduce yourself and tell everybody what grade you're in and what you're doing at TAP as well. All right. Well, we know we might make you late for TAP if we wanted to talk too long too. Mrs. Goss would love that. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Haley Clyden. I'm a junior and I went to TAP from my 8th grade to my 10th year.
Okay.
So those 3 years.
Awesome.
I'm Max Clyden. I'm currently in TAP. I've been in there. This is my first year.
This is your first year. Are you the last Clyden?
No, there's one other.
There's one other, okay. Because we've had every one of them. We love everybody. I mean, even your dad is involved with TAP. That's the coolest thing with that as well. Okay, go ahead.
I'm Catalina Ramirez. I'm with the LPN class at High Plains. It's an adult program, but I was in TAP. I started in 7th grade, and I stayed till my freshman year. And then I went my junior and senior year.
Awesome.
My name's Abimel Castrita. I'm a high school student here at Woodward. I'm a senior this year. And I started TAP, it was 5th grade, and I went to it through all the way up to my freshman year.
That's awesome. So if you don't see the theme, I'm really excited because I don't know if we've ever really kind of done anything like this, but I'm really kind of excited just to see that evolution and talk about that. So what's your favorite part in TAP, the Clyden brother, sister? Go ahead. Well, I don't care who goes first. Yeah, all right, get in there. First year, because it's your first year. You're real fresh into that. Eat that mic, and I want to tell everybody what you're loving about TAP right now.
Maybe the projects we do and socializing with other people.
So the socializing is pretty important. You know, I told you everybody before, right before we started this, is listen, you're more prepared for radio than you think about. Because what does Mrs. Goss make you do? What does she make you do every time
present
you first?
The cells.
Yeah, present. Yeah, it's really a lost art, and it's cool that you guys are learning that at such a young age. Because guess what? I teach the wind class and help out with the wind class. There, I'm having to teach them this. Starting over with things at times because they haven't been able to understand that. And you guys you're already above your peers, believe it or not. Whether you feel it or not, you are. Okay, go ahead. What was your favorite thing?
Probably my favorite part of TAP was being a part of the TAP officers and going to OYE. Those were like my biggest parts of it because I loved welding. I loved all the projects. But yeah, that was by far my favorite part.
So what officer were you? What year were you an officer in TAP?
I was president my 8th and 9th.
Boom, look at you. Yeah.
I was vice president my 10th year.
Okay. And when we say OIE, everybody thinks we're going to Hawaii. No, we're going to Oklahoma City at OIE. Those days of mine are gone. So, all right. What was your favorite part? Whichever one.
Well, my favorite part was going in. It was my 5th grade year, first year there. We had a welding simulator that we get practice on. And that was definitely where my passion for welding started.
And you're in welding now?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm in welding up here at High Plains. We test this Friday to get our certifications.
Yeah.
Which I'm excited for that.
Okay. So are you wanting to continue that on then with your pipeline certification?
Oh, yeah. I have my truck built ready.
Do you really?
Welding.
So did you do a lot of it yourself?
To get that business started. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but definitely TAP helped me choose that career path.
Awesome. So those that don't understand, we have those Lincoln Welder simulators in there that it's probably at times, don't you think it's more difficult than welding in the real world at times?
Oh, yeah, that simulator is definitely more tricky than going out there and doing it.
Totally agree. That's cool. All right.
I feel like it's hard to pinpoint what my favorite part was because we did a lot of hands-on stuff. So I think it was just getting out of the classroom and being able to do like everything, like getting to touch everything and not just writing on paper all day long. But I think that was probably
hands-on learning, right?
Yeah,
sure. What a grasp and what a concept that is. Here we are bringing that back and understanding that kids aren't wanting to want to sit and listen and do that because it really truly is. You're not sitting down very often in TAP, right? Yeah. So you're an LPN now, and I want to talk a little bit about that because when you were in TAP, is health something that you wanted to maybe experience and do, or what did anything kind of lead you to that in TAP, from TAP?
I mean, it was kind of just a little bit of everything that I did. I mean, we did a lot of people services, and I always wanted to be there for people and, just be a service to people. And I feel like I didn't realize how much I wanted to do that until TAP, and it was definitely just a side of health too, getting to like do the little miniature bodies and stuff that we got to put together. I thought that was just really cool.
It's the clay stuff and things, right?
Yeah, for like anatomy and physiology. Yep. It was just nice.
And, you threw out big words, anatomy and physiology. No, seriously. And the crazy thing is people when in 5th grade, 6th grade, really don't understand you're doing an A&P at that anatomy and physiology at that point in time. The thing I love about TAP is you're doing algebra, you're doing geometry, whether you realize it or not, right? It's pretty cool.
Yeah, always. What did she used to say? Count twice, measure once. Yeah. Or measure twice, do it once, cut once.
There you go. Cut once. Measure twice, cut once. That's an old adage, but it's stuck with you. You're close. Yeah. And in healthcare, that's pretty important as well,
for sure.
I would think. So
you could do dosage calc as many times as you want, but once you draw it up and give it, that's your one chance. So.
And the cool thing that people don't understand is, through TAP, when did you get your CNA? Did you go out there as a junior and senior? Or
No, I actually just got it right before I went into the LPN program.
So you went through the ADT, the adult training.
With Tracy.
Yep. So, and you got to learn that. And so you've truly been a product for a long time, whether you realize it or not as well. And that's the cool thing. So
100%.
that is that because, I always say nursing is the livelihood, the love of my going to a hospital at times, because that's the livelihood of a hospital. They're the front, they're the face, they're the personality, and they have to be. The doctors come in and go out, but who's taking care of everybody? Okay. So you talked a little bit about the welding experience. When you grew, you went to TAP early and then you continued on a little bit, and now here you are in a welding program. Did you think that welding was an avenue before or anything like that?
Before TAP, I didn't even know what welding was, I'll be honest. I also remember learning on crackers, using crackers and string cheese.
Yep.
We used that. And
did you eat, or did you really concentrate on running that bead?
Oh, no, I ate it. But that's really what got me into it. I was like, heck, if I could do this and eat it after. Well, obviously, no, you can't now. But little 5th grade me was like, this is cool.
So when you talk about going forward and doing this as a job, because you're going to pass, let's speak it into existence. Yeah. You're going to pass your pipeline certification. You're 6G. You're going. Yeah. There's no hopefully. We're speaking into existence. You're going to. So what's your plan with that, with your business and everything after that?
Well, I hope the certification goes good, and then once we get certified, find a nice gas company to work for.
Okay.
And go out, live on the road. That's all I've known.
So you're going to manufacture your own trailer as well? The key word is fabrication now. Fabrication. It's not manufacturing. Yeah, fabrication, that's the buzzword. What you've been doing since 5th grade with the cheese and crackers. You're doing some fabricating in your stomach at that point in time.
Yep.
So you want to travel then? And you just okay. And those are things that people don't understand too, because TAP probably got you ready for that business and that entrepreneurial spirit as well, right?
Yeah, but my dad, he's in Wynn, so he's all over the country.
Okay.
And I grew up around that.
Okay.
So it's something that's always been.
So is he a travel technician then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right now he's out there in West Texas.
Okay. Which, with everybody else in the world, everybody's in West Texas right now.
So a couple months ago, he was up here in Anadarko working.
Okay, all right. So you got to see him then.
Yeah, but it's beautiful seeing different places of this beautiful country.
No question. And you're here you are following in those footsteps in welding. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So, all right, Max, we're gonna hit on you. So here we are, first year into it. what do you think, because the Clydens, I don't think people understand, you guys have been part of TAP just as much as we have, really, honestly. You guys are the backbone. If there was ever a family that was a poster child for TAP, it's been your family. I mean, and we're blessed to even have, like I said, have your dad come and help with us from CF Industries. So, because he teaches rope for a day, right? For a full day. So, other than your dad teaching you in that ropes for a day, what are your things that you're thinking about when you're looking at your future? Because listen, and I want to be very clear, people. Everybody always talks about generation this, generation that. They worry about our future generations. Max is a shining example. The Clydens are a shining example of don't worry about it. Here they are, youngsters. We're talking about an entrepreneur spirit. We're talking about someone's going in LPN. Don't worry about this, folks, because guess what? People have always been complaining about future generations, but our generation, our future is in bright hands, and we're in the right place, and we're in the right corner of the pocket as well. And so here I am. I digress. I'm pumping you up, really, more than anything. But Max, what's the one thing that you're thinking that you maybe want to do in the future?
Maybe carpentry.
Okay.
I think it's really fun woodworking.
So you're going to have to deal with Mr. Carlson on down the line. But is that something that you would have thought you were going to do before you came into this?
Yeah.
Okay. You were pretty laser focused then. So you understand the measure twice, cut once then, huh? So what's your favorite woodworking tool to utilize?
Maybe a chisel.
A chisel? Okay. Because we haven't got much into the power tools yet, have you? Because you're still in first year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You will on down the line. You're getting ready to stick your finger out there and trust that it's not going to cut your finger? Or are you a little bit too soon for that, too?
A little bit too soon.
Yeah, because people have learned that the hard way. So you talked a little bit about welding. What do you is that something that you want to do, or what are you thinking that your path is going to take you?
Well, I'm in the welding program already this year as a full-day student, and I'm hoping to get into fabrication. I'm taking my, like Abimael said, we're taking our test this week for pipeline.
So you even are then, okay.
Yes.
All right, so when you pass, we're going to go into that too.
Fingers crossed.
No, let's speak it into existence. You got it.
And so I think what I want to do is I want to go into fabrication.
Okay.
And pipeline's going to be my backup plan.
Okay.
So I want to make fabrication my main and then just be a TIG welder.
You know what I think is great, because you talked about fabrication and welding in your future, because I've seen OIE firsthand experience. Some of the most talented artistic people doing fabrication are the female out there. And I'm a girl dad, so I'm all about girl power. And there's a girl in Enid, a young woman that has turned that into her own business as well, and she should be an inspiration, someone you should reach out to, because she started a business right out of high school and is doing it. And you talk about entrances, right? Gates and everything like that. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So is that something you're thinking of, or are you thinking more decorative other things?
No, I'm thinking more of,
okay,
just like fabrication, like bridges and
whatever they want.
Yeah,
you're
whatever
gonna be
they
able
want.
to do it. That's awesome. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to close it up a little bit with Jen, because Miss Dew, as you guys know, is a big part of Special Olympics, and we have that later on today, and we always beg for people to come, right?
Yes.
So what time is that going to be this afternoon?
We are going to start the games at 12:30. The athletes will register at noon, so come out and fill the stands and have the best day ever.
Because listen, the Woodward High School, they roll out a lot of times, and it sometimes lasts until after they get out, and they have other commitments they have to leave for. But other people need to stay and cheer them on, because the louder you cheer, the better they perform. And I'm not joking that it is the best experience you'll have so far this year. And it looks to be good weather.
I was going to say, the weather looks great.
I know. Finally. Finally. But go out there and cheer on. It's at Woodward High School. Get out there a little bit early. You will probably have a smile on your face when you're there, because I also know the guy that's going to sing the national anthem. He's a stud as well, and you're going to be entertained. And then it'll continue on, and it is the best experience, and always with volunteers as well. So we always need some of that, but really crowd spectation and a little bit of help boosting them on. So everybody have a blessed Wednesday, and we will see you next week.